Hello, Senator Sanders. Thanks so much for being with us here today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm really thankful you're here. So, Senator Sanders, you've been a trans supporter for quite some time, but what's been your personal evolution?
Well, the evolution is that in my office and getting around the country, we've had the opportunity to meet a lot of trans people and to understand that in today's climate with Trump as president, there is an incredible amount of fear and justified anxiety in the trans community. And I applaud those people in the community who are standing up for dignity, who are standing up and fighting against prejudice, and who are making progress. I know it's a long, hard road, believe me, I do. But I think back now to 30, 40 years ago, and the struggles that the LGBT community had, and how far we have come. I mean, the truth is, 30, 40 years ago, nobody would have believed that gay marriage would be legal in every state in this country. And I think we're seeing similar progress in terms of demanding tolerance and seeing a little bit, some good movement in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the ways you've shown your support is you've been a co-sponsor of the Equality Act and ENDA before that. President has a different role in legislation, but can we expect to see leadership on the Equality
Absolutely.
Act?
Leadership is the right word. Leadership is the right word. You know, you're not a Senate co-sponsor when you're the President of the United States. Right now, we have a president who is a leader. He is leading this country in divisiveness and hatred. Mm-hmm. And that is a very sad, sad state of affairs for the United States. So I think as President of the United States, you will see me as a president who tries to do exactly the opposite of what Trump is doing. He tries to divide us. We're going to try to bring people together. And I think with good leadership, we can go a long way in doing that.
Great. Well, so you've mentioned healthcare a couple times. It's one of the most important things for trans people, and the Trump administration has been trying to roll back protections.
Yep.
And but what can trans people expect from Sanders' healthcare?
What everybody else in this country can expect, and that is a Medicare for All single-payer program which covers all of the healthcare needs of all of the people. All right. Right now, as I'm sure you're aware, and this is not just a trans issue, believe me, you got some over 80 million people who are uninsured or underinsured. You have 30,000 people a year who die because they don't get to a doctor when they should. You have people who go deeply into debt because they end up with cancer or some other terrible disease. So what Medicare for All will do is what many other countries around the world already do, most countries, and that is guarantee health care to all people, underlined all people, as a human right and not a privilege. That's what the trans community can look forward to.
So that would require some anti-discrimination provisions and...
It's built in.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what it is.
Great.
And our bill similarly covers reproductive health for women. Abortion is covered, and trans needs are covered as well.
One of the most horrible things that the Trump administration has done is roll back protections for trans kids in schools. And what could we expect from a Sanders administration?
Well, I think what a Sanders administration is about is pretty simple. It's to fight discrimination in all of its forms, okay, in all of its forms. And I know that the trans community has been, in sometimes very violent and deadly ways, been a victim of that hatred. So we will provide all of the legal protection that we possibly can to protect the trans community and to protect anybody else who is being subjected to hate crimes and bullying. That's what we'll do.
Wonderful. My last question for you is, why should trans people vote for you?
Because I think if you study my record, it is a record of fighting against all forms of discrimination. It is a record which quite early on was a supporter of the LGBT community. It is also a record and an agenda that speaks not just to the trans community, but to the American people. Healthcare is a human right, okay? Making sure that you can go to college without going into debt, in my view, is a human right. We're going to change the priorities of this country so that we create an economy and a government that works for ordinary people, the average American, and not just the 1% and wealthy campaign contributors. That's why I think folks should vote for me.
Senator Sanders, thanks so much for being with us here today.
My pleasure.